Hello, my YouTube family. Y'all, today was the day. Let's just talk about it. So, new clinic, new pod, new bay partners, staff, co-workers, whatever you want to call it, because I am officially a floater now. So that means I go to different clinics, right? So that means I'll be floating around about 14 different clinics. Today I was at a clinic, and just things that happen on your first day happened to me. So one of my patients came late. I should have, when I look back at it, just bumped everybody's time by like 10 minutes. But I just let it stay because they were 10 to 15 minutes apart, each patient. And I was like, surely that's enough time. Yeah, that's enough time for nothing to go wrong. If there's no errors, that's what I mean. Not enough time for mistakes to happen, patients to bleed, or even somebody to go out or whatever. And not just in my section, but in any other section. So yeah, learned my lesson on that today. And honestly, you know, stuff like that really shows you what type of team you're working with in a clinic. Whether you're new or you've been there for a while, it doesn't matter. So as I'm taking off my first patient, this is changeover. Changeover makes or break you. As I'm taking off my first patient, the patient next to me, who is mine, who is also about to get off as well, I look at the machine and notice that her blood pressure has dropped a little bit. Well, and honestly, if it's in like the hundreds, like 100 and if it's like 110 and below, and I don't know the patient, but I know from a history of working with certain patients and their blood pressure drops like that, or is just in that range period from the time they come in even to the time they leave, then I'm like alerted. That's the right way to say that. Anyways, so I was on alert. And as soon as I walk away, because mind you, I'm rinsing somebody back, but I noticed this. But I'm rinsing somebody back, and of course, the person that she's familiar with comes to her and says, "Are you okay?" And she says, "No, I'm seeing blurry." And I was like, bruh, I was just right there. So I always go to your first sense, because then when I went back and looked back at her blood pressures, they had dropped by like 20 something points. So from 9:30 to 9:30 she was like 126 over something. But when it got to 10 o'clock, which is only a 30-minute difference, she had dropped to like 100 and something, like 102 or something like that. So that's a huge drop, and she's an elderly lady. Most people, like, when you have a 20 point drop, like, ugh. So I look back at it, but apparently she's been having issues anyway, because not too long ago they had to send her out. I do like that this clinic immediately jumped into action to call 911. In the past clinics I worked with, like, to me, I feel like they take forever to get some extra intervention, because dialysis clinics are only built to perform dialysis. They're only built to perform hemodialysis. They're not built to perform any extreme and major things. I mean, we have the crash carts with the AEDs, and we have oxygen, but we don't have certain things that the hospital will most definitely be able to, like, that the hospital has to benefit from. So that's why it's just, you know, as a nurse or even as a tech, if you feel like you need to let the nurse know, like, or, you know, communicate with your nurse, like, hey, we need to send this person to the hospital, because I didn't have to say anything. Honestly, once I stopped rinsing this patient back, clamp, and then I, like, because it was an emergency, I just literally turned around and went to rinse the patient back by their arterial first. Now, some people do the venous. If you do the venous, remember the venous is not by gravity and is ran by the blood pump. So that means that you need to bump it up. So if their blood pump speed is at 400, then you need to bump it up to 600. Get that blood rushing to them ASAP. If you don't do it with the venous and you do it with the arterial, then you just squeeze in the bag. So I'm familiar, and it's quicker for me to do the arterial. So, and I saw that she was doing the venous, but she was doing it at 400. That's not working, sis. So I'm like, the lady's not coming back fast enough. So for me anyway, because she was like, she had came back and she never really went fully out, but it's kind of like she passed out, and then as soon as she passed out, boom, getting the saline to her, and she came back, and then she just, and we was like, and they was like calling her name and sternum rub and all that, and she like comes back, and then boom, like it's like she was just like coming and going, like sleep and woke and sleep, if that makes sense. It was weird, but my point is, it was enough people over there, and thankfully the doctor had came in, because I don't know, they don't have like, this company does things so much differently, so they don't have like the team collectively come on a certain day of the month or certain week of the month to assess the patient all together with the doctor. Instead, the doctor's just gonna come, I guess, when the doctor comes. I guess the doctor has their own, not I guess, from what I've observed, the doctor has his or her own day of the week for the month that they're gonna come and do their rounds. So that's what he just so happened to do today. And he just so happened to do it while she was having that, I'm gonna call like an episode or whatever. So yeah, and that was way more than enough people, mind you. Like, as this is happening, when you have an emergency happening, once you see it's more than enough people and they don't necessarily need your hands in the pot, get back out and check on all the patients. So once I saw that, mind you, I was still rinsing someone back because my changeover was happening, okay? Whether I wanted it to or not, it was time to flip them chairs over, okay? So that is what I went to do. And as I was doing that, I did a quick walk around the room and just like looking at each patient, observing each patient, because in this time, like, you know, the blood pressures could be going low. Some more blood pressure could be going low in this other patient's time to come off. So, but that actually, honestly, that put everybody back, but I don't know. I feel like it put me back more because, of course, it was my patient. So that affected my chair and the next chair time. So as this patient, literally as soon as the ambulance came, got her out, they're telling me, I hear my name on the intercom, Ebony, you have one patient in the lobby. I'm like, of course I do right now. Why? Anyways, so I was like over it, but I was like, you know, it's temporary. I just got to make it through this changeover, because I was like, there's no way out of this. And I was just like, that scene and situation put me like almost 15 to 30 minutes back per patient. Definitely brought me back to when I started. Boy. And of course, like, the patients are impatient. It's funny. I'm like, who came up with the name patient? Who did that? Anyways, they are definitely can be impatient. It was my first patient that needed to come back. He was not. He was very nice. And then I had complications with his access. Apparently, the tech before me that's been treating him for a while now has had complications, because he did tell me. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to stick anywhere in that area. And I still had issues, and I was so annoyed by that. But if it's one thing, I will say dialysis, if you got ego issues, if you deal with pride, honey, it's going to just knock that right up out ya. Okay? Because it's funny, this will be for another day, but the same person that I saw the other day try to adjust an infiltrated needle. Mind you, don't do that, okay? If it's infiltrated, it's a wrap. But took the needle out, turned it in, oh God. The same person that I saw doing that, it's the same person that I let stick this patient. Because I had stuck him, and then no bueno. His venous was not working. And then I stuck under the original arterial to create a new arterial. And that arterial was, you can call it buzzing, vibrating, zzz, like on the inside, like it was literally zzz, like that's exactly what was happening when I went to try to run him. And I was like, dang, it's probably on the wall. So like the tip of the needle was like, if this is the tip and this is the wall, then the tip of the needle was just shh. But it freaked him out. It scared him. Thankfully, he didn't freak out completely. Like, he was just like, why is my arm vibrating? I was like, and then I touched it, and it was a strong, too. It was strong. Anyways, needless to say, I took that needle out. And then that was another 30 minutes behind, because dealing with handling that, I was doing that for like 30 minutes. Like literally, like one of the people, he went to break and came back. And when he came back, we had just finished. I must say I'm tired. And I must also say, shout out to those who survived changeover today. You made it. You did it. Not by yourself. And and I'm not gonna say that it's some days that you don't do it by yourself, because it is. Because even as I was dealing with him, I was like, you know, I could be in my head trying to figure out, how can I go from this point? Like, how can I move forward right now? Because I'm stuck with this patient and his access in his arm, and there are 2 patients. It's their time. One is past her time. The other one is right now her time. But I can't leave him. Like, get out of here. So, one nurse took one. The other nurse, she came and asked me, she said, do you need any help with anything? And I was like, can you please put her on? And she was like, oh, she's not on? I was like, no. That's how I felt on the inside. But they got her on, and, you know, I was very grateful, you know, for that. So, oh, bus, don't get over now. I was very grateful for that. So, shout out to the teamwork that happened today, and just shout out to those who cooperate in teamwork, who communicate in teamwork. And it's not easy all the time, because you like want to do it yourself, just because like what we do, it commands independence, because you have to be able to work your pod. You do. And if you can't, and you always have to rely on someone, then that is that puts other people down. Not to say that you shouldn't, because when you start, you should definitely ask for help. Do not be ashamed to ask for help. I know when I started and people would act crazy, like, I'm stupid for, or just act like I'm either stupid because I'm like, hey, can you recannulate this person, because I'm not finna keep doing this. Like, after today, I was like, all right, Ebony, we're gonna try again. After I suck him the second time, try to adjust again, the other needle, that's it. I'm done. Like, I'm not finna keep doing this, because then you just, it's easier if you say, hey, let me get somebody else, because I don't want to continue to mess with your arm. Mind you, he actually wasn't hurting, because I asked him, I was like, is it hurting? He was like, no. So praise God for that. But it's humility to say, I ain't got it right now. Now catch me tomorrow, catch me on another day, I'ma have it. But right now, I ain't got it. And it's okay. Oh, that was close, guys. What is happening? The driving of these people. So, moral of the story of today is, you know, don't be afraid to ask for teamwork. Ask for teamwork. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be in your feelings, especially if you're new. Yes, the patients will learn your heart through time and through those hardships, because even in that, like, he told me thank you like a lot, just because I was patient, I was kind, I was gentle. You know, he told me thank you even after the other lady, like, you know, had to help out or whatnot. And I was like, I said, well, I don't feel like I did you much service, but that alone was enough for him. You know what I mean? So you just don't know, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. And it don't matter how nobody make you feel either. Don't be ashamed for ask for help. And also, just get out your head. Changeover can have you in your head, because you literally, I feel like, and I say this often to people, I feel like changeover is like life. You have to deal with it. It's like something hard in life. You have to face it. You have to overcome it. You have to conquer it. And if you don't, it ain't going nowhere. In changeover, you can't just walk away. Now, you can. Some people probably have. But realistically, and you don't want to, you know, have neglect on your resume or abandonment. You abandoned the patient because it was too much. You don't want that on the resume. But you can't just walk away in life. You have to deal with situations. So, I mean, oh Lord, preaching to myself. I got some things I need to deal with. So, school is one of those things. Anyways, yeah, so I don't like changeover, but I like changeover, because changeover really be having you confront, and there's no way around it except to move forward, like process the next step and do it. Like, do it. And if that next step is, hey, I need some help over here, let that be the next step, so that you can move forward, because you can't be stuck. Like, a person's life is dependent on you, so you can't be stuck. So y'all take that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. My day's not over, but I am glad that I am on my way to church right now. I'm so excited. Hopefully I got time to take a shower. Oh, Jesus, I do not like going without taking a shower, because I feel like I've been in the clinic, and I have. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, rest of your day. Whenever you watch this, keep your head up. If you're going through, just know it gets better. Trouble don't last always. I will talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe And also, don't forget to get a hoodie. Hold up. I'm at a red light. Don't forget. Look, I love this red hoodie. I'm trying to tell y'all, we is out here. We out here. All right, bye y'all.